It is Wednesday, July 24th, noon, ET, exactly that, PM. In the United States of America and in Canada, this is What Chaos presented by Prize Picks Daily Fantasy Sports made easy. Use promo code What Chaos for a first deposit match up to $100. My name is DJ Bean. To my left is Pete Blackburn. Further to my left is Sean DePaz. And boys, I am excited. Do you know why?
No.
Because summer apps make me feel fine.
Not bad.
When we do it live.
Yeah, so it's exciting.
Not canned.
We decided yesterday, by the way, that we were going to do this episode live. So the Oilers news from today had nothing to do with it.
Shut up about the Oilers,
man. A lot of people saying like, "Oh, Oilers do something. Boys got to go live immediately." Unrelated. It just so happened. We actually said in the chat yesterday. Said in the chat, no Oilers talk, no Oilers and Bruins talk unless absolutely necessary for the rest of the summer.
Unless
and
there's
then
something.
A day later, the Oilers hire Stan Bowman as their GM. We'll get to that in a bit.
Bad job. Don't fucking do. Why you got to bring the bad vibes out of the gate?
Stupid lib.
I wanted to grab ass for a little bit. Talk about how nice it is to do a live episode.
I said we'll check in a bit.
To be fair, the first thing that the people watching this show saw was a picture of Stan Bowman. So it was like kind of what we were leading the show with.
Sean, maybe we have some viewers who don't have eyesight.
Fair.
Yeah. Let's try to be inclusive, Sean.
I'm guessing they would have some kind of text to speech, text to voice type of thing that would have told them what they were clicking on, and they probably would have heard.
People in the chat, let us know.
By the way, happy birthday, Sean.
Thank you.
Yes, this is our first live episode since Sean had his 26th birthday.
Oh, yeah, I guess it is. I mean, honestly,
No, but it's his birthday today.
Also true.
Man, how you feeling?
25.
When you're 24, you're 30, and when you're 29, you're 40. That is the rule of life, kids.
25 is the last birthday I care about until I'm 65.
Were you excited to turn 25?
Yeah, I got
sucks.
can rent a car without an extra fee. That was really it. And then
So 65 is like when you're a senior citizen?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. You can get the discount at the movies?
Yeah, what the
Have
fuck
you
else
seen
is going
Twisters
on?
yet?
No.
Are you going to see Twisters?
I don't really have a whole lot of interest in it. Like, I'll see anything. But like the original Twisters came out 2 years before I was born. So like I
Have you
never
seen Twister?
No.
You haven't seen Twister?
Wow.
No, like it was never.
And it's another. So Twister and the whole Twisters thing. Pete and I were texting last night about this movie because Pete saw it last night. I famously had already seen it and had more time to gather my thoughts. So I was filling Pete in.
Oh, shut the fuck
I
up.
was filling you in about the movie, maybe some stuff you hadn't noticed yet. And we were talking about the chemistry and a reason why I was like, I can't go there with thinking that like those two had amazing chemistry. And I realized after a big part of it is because like it's not even close to the chemistry that they had in Twister. That's like all time.
Oh,
shit.
yeah. Well, I didn't say they had amazing chemistry. I said the chemistry was good. And you were like...
You said very good.
I thought it was good. I thought it was very good. Yeah.
I love that movie.
I'll go to very good. I think that the writing and the dialogue wasn't amazing, but the chemistry was good.
Well, let's not kid ourselves. It was a bad movie.
Oh,
It was the fucking best.
Yeah.
But it was a bad movie.
But I want Twisters to be a bad movie.
I honestly had no notes on it. There were some parts where it was so ridiculous that the theater was laughing.
Good.
At times when you're not supposed to be laughing.
Good.
And I loved it. And there were conversations and things that were happening. And it was like, who fucking made this? And then 2 seconds later, the whole fucking place is going crazy. And I love that. That's what I want out of my Twisters.
I was a little bit worried in like the first 30 to 35 minutes of Twisters that they were going to just like treat Twisters like they were just like a fun little joyride adventure thing.
Yeah.
And like never get to the actual destruction caused by tornadoes. They get there eventually. I would have had a problem if they were just like, Twisters are sick.
All-time bad soundtrack. They had to fucking chill with that.
Yeah.
Every
There were some
second
really
was-
weird musical choices.
I'm a guy and you're a girl.
Yes.
Will we kiss?
Yeah, I don't know. Emily said in the chat, Glenn Powell freaks me out.
What?
I don't. It's something about his vibe. I do
So I have
not
a piece
like.
of content I'm making about Glenn Powell, so I got to bite my tongue, even
Okay.
when talking with Pete, because I don't want. I've disclosed this to one person, and they agree with the observation, but Glenn Powell conversations are getting weird.
He
Glenn
just
Powell rocks.
yeah, that happened out of nowhere. I didn't even know who he was.
Glenn Powell's rocked for a while.
Sure, I'll take your word for it. I just like something about him. He gives me a vibe that he like has bodies in his house somewhere.
Maybe.
He's just like
People-
too well put together.
I think people are not properly processing the fact that he is a charismatic person. Full stop. Like they see this handsome man with this great smile who's very affable and has all this charisma.
Which is exactly how they explain or describe most serial killers.
True. Famously. But they just like don't know what to, and they ascribe all these things to him. Like, do I think that he's my favorite? He's not my favorite actor. He's not my favorite anything. Do I love him? Yeah.
Yeah.
I love him.
Yeah. He's not my favorite actor, but like
I don't love him as much as everybody else, for sure.
I
won't say that because people have actually come to me, been like, hey, do you like Glenn Powell? Because I don't, and I need someone to fucking talk to about it.
No, I'm like wildly intrigued by his career. Like I think that he's good. So I won't say that he's like M. Night Shyamalan to me, which by the way, I'm so excited for Trap. Because like anytime
Because we're always excited for an
Exactly.
M. Night Shyamalan
Any-
movie
any-
until it's terrible.
anytime M. Night but even if it's terrible, I'm still gonna go see it.
Old was the best. Best movie.
Like A Knock at the Cabin was not that good.
I hated
That's-
Knock at the
yeah.
Cabin, and I was so excited for it.
Right. I'm always excited for the intrigue of what M. Night Shyamalan is going to do next. I think that I'm there with Glenn Powell, but I think that Glenn Powell is better than M. Night Shyamalan. Like I think that his career is just so intriguing to me at this point. And I don't know if it's the Top Gun thing, but like he has new Tom Cruise vibes to him where it's like he's a little unsettling. He's
Scientologist.
very
Yeah,
handsome.
you are. I don't think you're trying to disagree with Sean, but you are making his point.
That's
Yeah,
but that's what I'm
yeah, you're
saying. But
agreeing with it.
I actually do think that he's good. Not that I'm saying that like Tom Cruise wasn't good, obviously, but I'm trying to separate it from the M. Night Shyamalan thing where I'm always going to see the next Glenn Powell thing.
Chat is universally saying, yeah, don't like Glenn Powell, not even that handsome. Did not see that coming.
Oh, he's handsome.
I mean,
I love the monster that is our chat.
it is just like, congrats on being a white guy, like attractive.
Ooh,
like,
go there, Sean.
Do you want to call
just
him a
like-
slur, Sean?
Sure, white guy. He's
We
just
should
like,
have a sounder for like, let's make it about race.
I mean, he's
Because
just like, he's fine. He's
He's not the hottest guy in the world.
He's with like people freak out, and it's like okay,
I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
Like, I hope this isn't just like you're seeing again. Like, I see it as like, have you not seen a charismatic person before?
it's just like,
But-
it's very different. But it's kind of like the Taylor Swift thing, where I'm just like, what? How did this happen?
Just say you don't get it, Sean.
I don't get exactly. That's exactly it. I do not
But
get
here's
it.
the
and
thing.
Glenn Powell is better at what there is an
Yeah,
actual body of work with Glenn Powell where you could say, but
Don't say he's
even
better
if you
than Taylor
look at
Swift.
it, you're not like Glenn Powell blew me away in this movie. Like Glenn Powell should take a lot of responsibility for how bad anyone but you was. It's proof that I will never take Sydney Sweeney seriously because she was so bad. And proof that Glenn Powell still has a ways to go before I'm like, what an actor.
Oh, I don't think I've ever come away from like Glenn Powell being like, oh, what an actor. I just think that he provides an extraordinarily fun time and time again.
He's
And
in
so-
fun movies though.
So, right, like he's a blockbuster actor. And I also think that lends to, I think that his personality is like, he is a generational himbo. He's a generational himbo. And I think that he just provides very fun vibes. And he also just continuously stars in fun movies. His real test is going to come if he wants to like propel himself forward as an actor and take on like a serious role. Then we might start to get in the conversation with like, all right, enough of Glenn Powell. He can't really act. But as of right now, he is fitting in the perfect box for Glenn Powell.
I think you got I think you could have put me in the last Top Gun, and I would have had an acting career after that.
I would have made that point. Like, we did not need him for that movie. That was going to be the best movie.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, come on.
I mean, it was going to be an awesome movie, but he was awesome in that movie, that role.
But what I'm saying is, you went to see that movie, you loved it, you kept seeing it. If Glenn Powell never existed and it was somebody else in there, they would have been incredible in that too, and you would have loved it so much. There's no way of knowing. We don't have a time machine.
But you know what Glenn Powell is awesome in?
What?
Everybody Wants Some.
Yes. Although that's starting to become
it's like revisionist history, but he was very good in that movie.
Becoming like a cool kids table movie, and that upsets me.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was sitting at that table a long time ago.
Right, no, we saw it when it came out. But
nobody was talking about that movie when it came out, like, I don't know, 5-6 years ago.
Yeah, they were. It's a Linklater thing.
Yeah, but like it was a film person thing.
Yes, I agree.
He was in Spy Kids. That's crazy. I didn't know that.
He was in Spy Kids?
Spy Kids 3D, which is like the greatest movie of all time.
While we're putting off Bowman talk for just a couple minutes with movie stuff, I have a movie take that I haven't really seen from anybody else, and I just want to get it off my chest. Longlegs, overrated.
Yeah.
Depending on how it's rated, I suppose. I'm looking at Rotten Tomatoes, and I see 86%, and I'm like, Rotten Tomatoes, good job.
Yeah.
That's what I thought, too.
Yeah.
I'm seeing, maybe it's just my For You and my friends who have seen it that are blown away by it, talking about it the way that we talked about Barbarian back in the day.
Pre-release, Barbarian was a much better movie than Longlegs. Pre-release hype for Longlegs is the worst thing about it. It fell victim to pre-release hype. It is a good, maybe like really good movie, but it's not some fucking generational horror movie.
Right. And we like this type of movie. We like post-bankruptcy Nicolas Cage. Was it bankruptcy or getting back in the game Nicolas Cage, we'll call it.
Cage.
And I don't know about you.
It's like the third or fourth best movie that Nicolas Cage has made in his like
the last 10 years.
Yes.
Now I'm a big Alicia Witt head. I think you're probably not as big as me. Are you not really indifferent on Alicia Witt?
Don't know too much about her.
All right, let's talk about these Edmonton Oilers. They hire Stan Bowman as GM, and you know him famously from being GM of the Blackhawks from 2009 to 2021. He resigned in 2021 after an independent investigation found that he and other members of the organization handled allegations from a player who said they were sexually assaulted by a video coach during the 2010 playoff run. These allegations were handled poorly, mishandled per the investigation. Stan Bowman at that point resigned. He has been suspended from the NHL since then and was reinstated July 1st of this year. He replaces Ken Holland as the Oilers GM. CEO Jeff Jackson had been making moves and doing a great job for the Oilers this offseason. We talked about this possibility, and I was not in favor of it. And now that it has happened, I am still not in favor of it. I don't get it. And obviously there's baggage and there's non-hockey things that come with this. From a overall standpoint, I just would not have done this.
Yeah, I mean, I think the general overarching sentiment from myself is that, like, I don't really get it. You mentioned earlier that you wanted it to stay in the family, and I agree with that. I agree that, like, the Oilers right now have this contained thing that is working. And Jeff Jackson, incredible offseason as the non-GM, I thought. And the thing about Stan Bowman is that, like, I do believe in second chances, and I do believe in, like, you don't have to keep him away from the NHL forever. Like, if you disagree, then we disagree on that. Like, I do believe in second chances. I don't know why anybody would rush to hire Stan Bowman as their GM, because my thing is, like, I don't know if Stan Bowman's a good GM. Obviously, his body of work with the Chicago Blackhawks overall pretty good, But you know what he was handed? A pretty fucking good roster. And you know what was terrible? His end of tenure moves with the Chicago Blackhawks. He did some things well, but fuck, he made a lot of desperate moves at the end of his tenure as Chicago Blackhawks GM that set that team back quite a bit. And I just don't know if like the overall body of work from Stan Bowman as a general manager suggests that he is a very good general manager.
Correct. And that's not to say that one thing is more important than the other, but you're hiring this person to be the GM if you want to get into all the stuff that happened with the Blackhawks, which needs to be taken seriously. And quite frankly, a lot of people, I don't want to do the on both sides thing, but a lot of people online don't take it seriously in saying like, oh, you're never going to give the guy a second chance. And then other people saying like, oh, well, he did things that he just straight up did not do, like writing Brad Aldrich letters of recommendations. Like people are going to yell about all that and the various mess that was the Blackhawks organization at that time and him fucking up something pretty royally. Why are you in a hurry to hire that in that conversation when I cannot remember the last time Stan Bowman was a good GM? And it's terrible to say, like, if they're better at the job, you put up with more of the noise, but that is how everything works.
Yeah.
That's how sports work. That's how organizations work. That's what they'll do. They'll put up with that if they're great at the job. We don't know if Stan Bowman's great at the job. Since they last won the Cup, he has reminded me, quite frankly, of another former Oilers, president.
Peter Chiarelli.
Peter Chiarelli after the Bruins won the Cup, which was, yeah, you're very good at getting the team that's almost there where it needs to be and making some savvy moves. But then once you're trying to keep it together and guys are starting to make a lot of money.
You love your guys way too much.
And that's when it gets difficult. And that's when Chiarelli in Boston kind of let go of the rope. That's definitely when Bowman in Chicago let go of the rope. Sean, if you could throw up the full screen of some notable moves we put together that he made after they won their most recent Stanley Cup, the Blackhawks in 2015. He signed Brent Seabrook to that huge 8-year contract, which everybody knows was kind of the beginning of the end for the Blackhawks because money was so tight. A big one in 2017, and this was also money related, but he traded a young Artemi Panarin for Brendan Saad. Remember, they had to get rid of Saad because he'd outpriced himself, and then they brought him back because Panarin was going to outprice himself on his next contract. But still, bad trade. Should have gone about that a different way, gotten more long-term young building blocks, the Hjalmarsson for Connor Murphy thing. And then at the end, this was the biggest case of just trying to get one last kick at the can, trading multiple picks for Seth Jones, signing him to that huge contract, which we discussed. That contract isn't as bad as people make it out to be, but that was the wrong move for that team to make at the time. That was a team that was clearly entering a rebuild. And instead, they made a move for a team that was maybe a piece away.
Yeah, like he has all of this screams just trying to keep a current window open rather than making some difficult decisions and saying goodbye to players that you like in order to open another window, in order to have a second kick at a second championship window. He just kept trying to keep the current one open and feed what a lot of people were calling the dynasty. And it's just there were a lot of desperate moves and misevaluations that set the team back for a long time. And that's what you don't want from a general manager.
So they get a general manager about whom I'm not very excited. I don't know that he's necessarily going to go out and make a bunch of terrible moves right now. The Oilers don't have a lot of moves to make right now anyway. Their biggest one is to sign Leon Draisaitl. So if they can turn that around, they can sign Leon Draisaitl next week, then suddenly vibes are great again in Edmonton. But boy, your vibes and your performance are higher than they've been in years and years and years. Everybody loves the Oilers. Everybody.
That's not true. That's definitely not true. You love the Oilers.
Everybody I was thinking about that.
Not everybody loves the Oilers.
Can you think of one thing, anything like what we do, any of the other hockey podcasts or anything, any of the other hockey fan type things that were not all about the Oilers this postseason? They all were.
The Oilers are a fun team, man. They're crazy. They're crazy. But
Wait,
not everybody
you-
loves the Oilers.
You're twisting words now. You
What?
know that everybody was excited about the Oilers. Like that's not a biased DJ fan thing. Like even nationally,
I mean, there were definitely people who hate the Oilers.
Yeah.
right,
there's-
people in Vancouver and shit like that. But I'm saying that like
The Oilers moved the needle.
narrative and the conversation about the Oilers, everybody was excited for the Oilers. And again,
No, they weren't.
any sort of podcast or whatever, like any national podcast type of thing, was all about the Oilers. This is not.
It was
It's
all
a
about the
weird
Oilers
thing to
because they were
disagree
one of the
with.
two final teams remaining.
So
And they were the better story, and like they had an interesting narrative to them, but like not everybody was excited about like the Oilers.
I disagree with that.
I
mean,
don't think that's true.
I don't think anything is. There's no thing that
Yeah.
everyone is excited about.
Right.
So like, yeah, there are definitely people that were like rooting against the Oilers. But I think more to your point, the Oilers were objectively like intriguing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They were, like,
Yeah,
and if
that's
you
what I'm
cover
saying.
hockey, you have to talk about them, sure. But I don't think everyone was like,
I think
let's go
there
Oilers.
becomes like a reset point once the Stanley Cup final ends, and like saying that everybody was excited about the Oilers this offseason, I think is false.
I don't know. The vibes were very high with the Oilers.
Yeah, I mean, when
I
it comes to the
agree.
offseason, I don't think anybody.
Yeah, no one's excited about anything in the offseason. Look at our fucking numbers. No one's excited about anything in the offseason.
By the way, go watch our
How
Quentin
can you push
Byfield
back
interview.
on people being excited about the Oilers? They were.
I mean, again, I think your point is more that they were interesting, and if you covered hockey, you had to
Who
talk
else
about
are you going to
them.
get excited about?
But,
There were
like,
2 teams remaining.
Yeah, like I mean, there were certainly. It just depends on how you're taking the word exciting, because
Yeah.
there's a lot of people who were not excited about the Oilers potentially winning a Stanley Cup because they don't like the Edmonton Oilers.
I mean, it's,
My
to
point,
your
which is undeniable, is that vibes have not been higher with the Oilers. And excitement for the Oilers, I'll say, is higher than with a lot of the other teams. And you go and
But that's like essentially like people were talking about the Oilers, which
this
like,
is a weird semantics conversation that I don't think is super
but I don't get what you're
necessary.
trying. I don't get like what you're trying to say. I guess is like because I feel like you're moving the goalpost a little bit about like saying people are excited about the Oilers. People like the Oilers.
I'm saying vibes and excitement were very high for the Oilers, both, as I said, not moving the goalpost, repeating the words I said, both in performance and how people thought about them, viewed them, liked them. Everybody.
The liked them thing is where I disagree.
yeah, I mean, not everybody liked the Edmonton Oilers.
I don't think that everybody liked the Edmonton Oilers.
I mean, I would argue that most of Canada was actively rooting against the Edmonton Oilers.
That's where our
Florida.
wires are
Yeah.
crossing right now. I think
Again.
there are two different level meters here that you're talking about, and if you separate them, then fine. Like the excitement and the likability of the Oilers. I think that like the excitement level has stayed up even with the hiring of Bowman because we're here talking about them even when we didn't really want to, and the likability has dropped. And the
Again,
vibes
I go
have
back to
dropped.
the example. Like, how was Spitting Chicklets towards the Oilers? How was
I mean-
Empty Netter toward like all of like this whole space
One of the people on Chicklets played for the Edmonton Oilers.
famously.
So
This whole space though.
He also played for the Florida Panthers, though.
That is true.
Again, it is. If you covered hockey, like, yeah, there was nothing to like. You obviously were going to cover the Oilers and be excited about what was going on there. But I think going into the offseason and going into next season, like kind of what Pete
And
said,
for the
that'll
sake
reset.
of
Who's everybody's pick
for
to win the
sake
Stanley
of-
Cup this year?
For the sake of honesty and for the sake of transparency,
Sabres.
for the sake of honesty and for the sake of transparency, when there were 2 teams left, when we talked about the Oilers, our numbers were much, much better. And part of that is DJ being an Oil man and kind of being in part of that community. But when we talked about the Panthers, our numbers didn't do nearly as well. So I think that like looking at other podcasts and looking at other media outlets and saying they were talking about the Oilers a lot and they weren't talking about the Panthers nearly as much might be a product of them looking out for their numbers too.
Yeah, and again, the Oilers were objectively more interesting. There were more story, like there was way more going on with the Edmonton Oilers. But I think like going into the offseason and going into next season, like I don't give a shit about the Edmonton Oilers. Like I don't want them to be good. I mean, obviously it'd be cool if McDavid won a cup eventually, but I don't really care about the Oilers now. Like
I care about them because they have Jeff Skinner now.
Oh yeah, fair. But I cared about them because of what was going on last season and how that season went. But going into the next season, if they're just like good from the get, cool, bro. Like I don't give a shit. At the end of the day, it's Edmonton. I never cared about Edmonton before last season. Outside of McDavid, I probably won't care about him that much going forward.
I'm still gonna care. I'm still gonna watch the Oilers. Fuck ton.
I mean,
I've watched the Oilers a fuck ton for the
past
past
everybody. I guess like I like
6-7 years. They have Connor McDavid. I'm always gonna watch the Oilers.
Again, Connor McDavid's awesome, so I'll always watch him. But
That was an unpleasant detour. The vibes with the Oilers have never been more positive. People have never been more
expectations for them have
tolerant
never
of
been
you.
higher.
Like, I don't know what word I'm allowed to fucking say that's not going to be a dumb conversation. But you then add in one of the biggest scandals in like hockey history, and all of this for what? For a GM who we think was really good 15 years ago, 14 years ago.
Maybe.
No, wasn't good 9 years ago. 8-7-6-5.
Yeah.
That was my that was the sentence I was trying to say. Things were going great for you. Everybody approved of you. And sorry, I said everybody. A lot of people approved of you and were excited about your Stanley Cup run and your offseason. And you do this for what? I don't get it.
I also don't think that I think it's might be overstating it that this is going to throw people off long term. Like this could be a situation where everybody's up in arms for a couple weeks and it's the story of the moment. And when the season starts, a lot of people might fucking forget that Stan Bowman is the GM of the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah, I mean, fans don't quit. That's
right.
They just don't do that. Unless you're Sean. Sean was an Oilers fan and quit because Chris Knobloch said something inflammatory about the Bills.
I generally don't know from like a zoomed out perspective if people were as on board with the Oilers vibes from like a zoomed out perspective because they had Corey Perry, they had Evander Kane. Like there are the elements of like villains that throw people off the Oilers to begin with. Mm-hmm. Even like Connor McDavid, for some reason, there are people that just love to hate Connor McDavid or have an adversity to Connor McDavid.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's if you're the best of all time, that's always going to happen.
Right. Like that. And I don't get that. I really don't get why people look for reasons to be like, fuck that guy. Whether it's LeBron, like LeBron has his weird, like quirky personality things where you're like, why are you lying about everything kind of deal? But like, watching LeBron fucking rocks.
Greatest basketball player of all time. If you say anything else, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Watching LeBron rocks. Watching Connor McDavid rocks. Like, I like watching fucking awesome players. So, I don't know. It's, the Bowman thing, I think unnecessary is the biggest word that you could go to. And especially for the Oilers who have a really highly sought after GM vacancy. Like, if I don't want to like besmirch the Columbus Blue Jackets or something, but if the Columbus Blue Jackets hired Stan Bowman, you could maybe wrap your head around it a bit more than like a premium, highly sought after vacancy. And to do so almost immediately after he's cleared and reinstated, like I'm more surprised that Stan Bowman got a job before Joel Quenneville. Like Joel Quenneville, I think has a better case to be, to say he was an objectively good coach versus Stan Bowman as an objectively good GM.
I think Stan Bowman is viewed as more contrite with the whole thing.
Like though. Complicit?
Contrite.
Is that the opposite?
Contrition is to like feel responsibility and like sadness over.
Yeah, so the thing that came out because a few weeks ago.
Feeling or expressing remorse affected by guilt. Quenneville's thing's more of like Well, look, we fucked up, but I didn't know what to do in that whole thing.
Yeah, maybe. There was the thing that came out a couple weeks ago from Sheldon Kennedy from the Respect Group, who wrote an essay about Stan Bowman and his involvement in the Respect Group, which, if anybody doesn't know, like the Respect Group says they've trained over 2.5 million Canadians on their roles and responsibilities to prevent bullying, abuse, harassment, and discrimination. They focus on accountability, on psychological safety on and off the ice. Sheldon Kennedy said Bowman volunteered nearly full-time hours to help lead 3 charters in Canada, one of them being in Edmonton. And this was an important and interesting note. In September 2023, Kyle Beach attended the workshop co-facilitated by Stan Bowman, and the two met afterwards and cleared the air, and apparently they're on fairly decent terms. Like, that's an interesting thing to note. I don't think it expunges Stan Bowman's involvement in all of this, but I also don't think that, I think a lot of people are laying a ton of fault, or like the majority of fault, at Stan Bowman's, and I think there are a lot of layers in, in what
there's
went wrong
way more
in
nuance
Chicago.
to this, and I've heard and been told too many fucking things about how the John McDonough thing was run in Chicago, where everything went through that guy. You hear something, you send it up the ladder, you send it to him. And this was in Stan Bowman's statement that he put out. Let me find it. In 2021, when he resigned, he said, 11 years ago, while serving my first year as general manager, I was made aware of potential inappropriate behavior by a then video coach involving a player. I promptly reported the matter to then president and CEO, who committed to handling the matter. I learned this year that the inappropriate behavior involved a serious allegation of sexual assault. I relied on the direction of my superior that he would take appropriate action. Looking back, now knowing he did not handle the matter promptly, I regret assuming he would do so. That sounds like passing the buck, yes.
And
but
that's a problem, obviously.
Everybody who has said anything about how that organization has has said, like, you don't do shit on your own. You take it to John McDonough, and he takes it from there. Now, John McDonough is long gone, out of the picture, isn't going for any other sorts of jobs, so that's all clean and convenient that the blame can be distributed evenly everywhere else. But that's all I know, is that that's how things were done back then, which was you take it to McDonough and you don't take it anywhere else. Obviously, Bowman should have said "fuck the rules" there
happens,
and gone.
To do something.
Well, I mean, obviously, just go right to HR. But they waited. I think it was May 23rd until June 14th before anybody did anything. So obviously, they fucking handled that horribly. However, and I don't want to say like in defense of Stan Bowman or just like the idea that he was like the mastermind of some big cover up is incorrect. He did something horrible that rightfully got him a very long suspension. He was not some evil mastermind, and he also was not some great GM. So I don't get why this is happening.
Yeah, that's kind of where I land on it. I don't know. And you can believe whether or not you want to, like, that he put in the work to learn from it. Like, people are saying that he did. Those kind of things always come out after controversies, and when somebody is looking for another job, like, you have people who go to bat for you and get in your corner. So if you don't want to believe that he put in the work to change or whatever, like, that's you're well within your right to do that. But Sheldon Kennedy is respected in the hockey community, and so you can take that at whatever face value.
Also, from the chat, someone says, didn't Bowman also give Brad Aldrich a letter of recommendation for the university where he was later accused of sexual assault? Again, good question. No, that is something that is I don't know where it came from, but let's see. From let me find it.
What I was going to say is that another point the chat is making is just like, first job back didn't have to be GM of a National Hockey League team.
Exactly.
Okay,
Like it just
hold on.
didn't have to be that
Assistant
important.
GM, something
One
like
common
that.
allegation.
That might be what he's basically doing.
One common allegation is that the Blackhawks gave Aldrich a letter, a reference letter of recommendation for future jobs. Jenner and Block dug into this and found no evidence of this. After leaving his employment with the Blackhawks, Aldrich went on to work and volunteer at USA Hockey, the University of Notre Dame, Miami University of Ohio, and Houghton High School. None of the witnesses we interviewed recalled anyone at the Blackhawks providing a written or verbal reference for Aldrich to his future employers. When interviewed, Aldrich stated he did not list any Blackhawks employees as references on job applications, nor did he ask anyone from the Blackhawks to vouch for him or make any calls on his behalf. So I hate to be a fucking old man, and maybe it's just like the former journalist in me. I'm glad that somebody asked about that in the chat, because that is something that is out there. Try to find as much shit as you can. Try to learn as much as you can, because like something like that, obviously if he did that, that's fucking terrible. But if he didn't do that, it's also worth noting when that's thrown out there that like, hey, that isn't a part of this.
Yeah. I mean, there's reasons to be critical for sure. But facts are important as well.
Okay, if you are trying to make a hire, I hope you can do it more cleanly than the Edmonton Oilers did. And I would recommend Indeed, because we're driven for the search for better. But when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. If you need to hire, you need Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors, according to Indeed data, and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. Leveraging over 140 million qualifications and preferences every day, Indeed's matching engine is constantly learning from your preferences. Right now, hey, when you're out, when you're at the movies eating popcorn, you know what Indeed's matching engine is doing? Learning from your preferences. So the more you use Indeed, the better it gets. Join more than 3.5 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/AllCity. Just go to Indeed.com/AllCity right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/AllCity. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed.
You can also support the podcast by hopping on the Lucy nicotine train, because I have been kind of hammering the Lucy's this summer. What about you, Sean?
Oh yeah, I mean, I got this whole.
You do have a spread. You have a buffet of Lucy in front of you
At all times, strapped at all times.
Playing a lot of video games, playing a lot of golf, and I strap myself with Lucy when I do both of those things. It's 100% pure nicotine. It's always tobacco free. It's available in pouches, gum, and breakers. Breakers are pouches, but with a capsule full of liquid flavor inside that helps saturate the pouch. We've been known to call them Juicy Lucy's, and regardless of what anyone thinks, I'm sticking with it.
Minnesota, right? It's a Minnesota thing.
It's a Minnesota burger. Yeah.
I've never had one, but I've heard they're great.
Sounds amazing.
I've had multiple. I've made one. It's better when you get one made by the pros.
I believe that.
imagine
Famously,
so.
our friend Petey is the biggest Minnesotan of all time. Like, is like aggressively pro Minnesota.
This is Jamie Erdahl erasure.
Your boy Lark says, Jesse Larkin says, golf course, Lucy's hit different. That is extremely true. Extremely true. It's become a major part of my golf routine. Breakers are available in 4 milligrams or 8 milligrams. They also come in flavors such as mint, berry, citrus, and espresso. Pouches go all the way up to 12 milligrams. If you're not a pouch guy or gal, Lucy gum is available in 2 milligrams, 4 milligrams, or 6 milligrams. And this is an important detail that Lucy offers. You can set yourself up with a subscription program and have them delivered straight to your door, so you don't have to run to the gas station trip every week or every few days or whatever your routine requires. I love Lucy. You should too.
You want another, by the way, a little small knock on Stan Bowman?
I'm not done.
Blackhawks in those? Oh, you have to do a song and dance.
I haven't even done the promo code. Let's level up your nicotine routine with Lucy. Go to lucy.co/whatchaos and use promo code whatchaos to get 20% off your first order. Lucy offers free shipping and has a 30-day refund policy if you change your mind. That's lucy.co using code whatchaos to get 20% off and free shipping. Here comes the fine print. Lucy products are only for adults of legal age, and every order is age verified. Warning, this product contains nicotine, and nicotine is an addictive chemical. Now go ahead.
Blackhawks, one of the teams that fucked up Gustav Forsling.
Yep. You know who was responsible for that? Old Stan Bowman.
Well,
gave him away.
I was told Stan Bowman is a prospect rusher.
Like get him up and see if they,
Two things.
Yeah.
We have a few super chats, and also our insider Johnny Laz is in the chat.
Oh.
Actively shitting on DJ's mustache.
Yeah, he's fucking obsessed with my mustache, man. Rent free.
Listen,
he's tweeting about it.
I will accept a lot of DJ slander, a lot of DJ criticism. Don't come for the mustache. It's a good mustache. The whole thing is working.
Whatever. And look, if it's not for you, you don't have to like my mustache. You have to like my principles, which is fucking be nice to people.
Hey, Johnny, how's your love life going?
I hope it's going well.
Roasted.
I hope it is too. I don't know. I like the entertainment of checking in with Johnny's love life and him just being like, bad, it's terrible.
Well, it can't be. It's got to be active and bad though. It can't just be like nothing.
Dormant. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What do we got for super chats?
I like sullen Laz.
Huh?
I like Laz when he's like sullen. When he's gloomy, if you will.
Johnny Laz, do you ever yearn?
Using a lot of big words like contrite and sullen. I apologize. Super chats from John Evans. Good to see you again. Hope you're taking my time off this summer as well. Love Your Life says, based and Hunter Biden pilled today. Hashtag Gay Sex Wednesday.
Okay.
Windy City Howkey says, I feel for you Oilers fans. Stan Bonehead is a terrible GM. And he has an ego. He traded so many young players like Teravainen and Danault for nothing. Is that right? He traded them for nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Can you think of a trade
goes against the CBA?
Can you think of a trade that was made for nothing?
Yes, Marc-Andre Fleury was traded for nothing.
Marco Sturm was traded to the LA Kings for nothing. Yeah, you can do it. All you gotta do is just say future considerations and then don't do future considerations.
Never follow up. I believe the Fleury thing was a bit more complicated, but I think that he was like traded for something and then they gave them something and then they released that something back to the team.
We have huge news in the hockey world. The Blue Jackets got a coach. Finally got a coach. Our long national nightmare is over. Dean Evason will be the 49th coach of the Columbus Blue Jackets. He was hired on Tuesday. You know him from parts of 5 seasons for the Minnesota Wild. I love when they say the parts of however many seasons because you're like, you were either an in-season replacement or there was an in-season replacement. In parts of 5 seasons for the Wild, he was 147, 77, and 27, which notably is better than I thought he would have been.
But that's like the Wild are never like really bad.
Yeah.
They're just uninterestingly good.
Yeah.
Or uninterestingly uninteresting.
Can I ask the chat what they're talking about where they keep talking about McDonald's and the fryer?
I didn't.
Doesn't seem you know either. Yeah.
I think the deep frying thing is like the meme thing. I think that's where that's what I thought they were talking about originally, and then it just got into like just straight up fryer talk. So
What's that like meme?
Deep frying memes. It's like I'd have to show you an example.
Intentionally shitty.
Yeah, kinda. It's like I don't know.
Sean.
I don't know how to explain.
More
it.
interesting than talking
It's
about
when
a
they're, like,
Wild
very
coach.
pixely-
It's these
Okay,
kinds of
yeah,
memes.
yeah, yeah.
The chat doesn't see this, but they know what it is. So they don't need to.
Okay.
That's exactly what I thought it was.
So that's Blue Jackets talk. I kid. The first game of the season for the Blue Jackets is in Minnesota against the Minnesota Wild. And I was looking through photos of Dean Evason. There is not a single photo online. There actually is one, and it's not very good, where he's smiling. He's always yelling or seemingly being yelled at. Always looks unhappy. Not what I want for my guys, quite frankly.
You know what else he looks like?
If I hear one more fucking thing about how he looks like Creed from The Office,
it's literally
Jesus.
the third picture that shows up when you type in Dean Evason is a side by side with him and Creed.
Also, he doesn't look that much like him.
You know, it made me feel good when they hired Dean Evason. He was in the news, and so many people came out and were like, yo, this guy looks like Creed. And like, as somebody who actively avoids paying attention to the Minnesota Wild as much as I possibly can, brother, that was old fucking news. If you're just discovering that, you pay less attention to the Minnesota Wild than I do, which is an achievement, and I'm very happy for you. But at least it's a tip of the cap, a feather in our cap that we knew that.
He looks more like other people than he looks like Creed from The Office. And I don't want to get into a huge, who does he look like? By the way, thanks to the chat earlier for pointing out my shoes were untied. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
and I tied my shoes as a result of the chat saying like
Big New Balance day for the pod.
Yeah.
Look at that. Got
Look at
New Balance 550s.
No.
Those are some of my favorite old bootsies.
Nah, I was born in 574s. So, first game of the season is against the Minnesota Wild, and this is from his introductory press conference. He showed a little bit of life. Let's get it.
Dean, you've got a lot of work to get through here, obviously, over the next 2.5 months. But when you first looked at this team's schedule and saw that opener, did your eyes twinkle? Did your teeth gnash? How did you respond, and how much are you looking forward to that or not?
You know what I dislike is when ex-coaches go in and say, oh, this game means nothing to me. That's such bull. Of course it means something to you, right? I mean, they just fired me last year. Of course it means something.
Two things. One, he does not look like fucking Creed there.
He does a little bit.
Two, I think he's cool.
Yeah. I'm in on Dean Evason. Number one, didn't know. I wasn't familiar with your game, Dean Evason. Didn't know you could smile, crack jokes, have a good time. Number two, love him for our guys because he is an adult coach. He is an adult coach. He is well respected amongst his players. And if you remember when he was fired by the Minnesota Wild, tons of stories about how good of a guy he is and how much of a sweetheart he is. And I need to preserve the vibes within the Blue Jackets organization. It's a real nice guy organization.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of nice guys, a lot of nice gals in that organization. Keep the Blue Jackets nice.
It's not a good to look for the Wild that the first second we see him outside of the Wild,
he's like, fuck the Wild.
Interesting.
He has some sort of personality.
Yeah. And he's like, fuck the Wild. He's interesting and he's like, fuck the Wild.
You know how much I love a coach.
Hell yeah, brother.
I wish it would have been better if he was like, you know, when you coach against your old team, of course you're fired up. It's such bull to say the other. Unfortunately, we're talking about the Wild here, and I don't have it in me to think about that shit at all. Boring. We'd be like, oh, fuck. He was always so cool.
The love of your life, no Johnny the Joke Manning. Dean Evason being Johnny the Joke Man is be incredible.
We need to each year have a Johnny the Joke Man. So fucking stop. You're all done. You're all done, Paul Maurice. No more jokes. You got to pass it to somebody else. We nominate Dean Evason.
Love of Your Life also has a super chat. Another one.
We were wrong about I was wrong about the deep frying thing. It's a inside joke from the Discord, I guess.
Shout out to our Discord. Join the Discord. It's in the description below in the YouTube. It is that thing is humming.
It's got a life of its own, clearly, because they're making jokes that we don't even understand.
Yeah, there's no off season for the Discord. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, subscribe to the YouTube as well, and subscribe everywhere you get whatever you may get. It's a real blast. I like him being funny for my guys. I like him going in.
See how long it lasts.
Yeah, I am very invested in the Blue Jackets being a good team, getting better.
I said this before the show, and I'm going to say it on air. Fuck Spittin' Chicklets. They came out with a reel this week that was like, I really want the Blue Jackets to be good. Get your own podcast. We were on the Blue Jackets train years ago. DJ famously liked the roster.
I did. I was about to go at you for a second for saying, so Spittin' Chicklets' perspective doesn't matter when they're championing the Oilers, but when they say we like the Blue Jackets, suddenly what they say goes.
No, it's just we when did they go to the Columbus? I think they went like 2 years ago. We went last year.
Yeah.
Boots on the ground.
It's like how Sean did a mustache like 5 months ago. Fucking talk to me.
I did a mustache like 5 years ago. I've had a mustache forever.
Oh, I had a mustache before you had a mustache.
I'm probably because I couldn't grow facial hair.
I'm older than
up
you.
until like 10 years ago.
Yeah,
Sean's mustache.
I was probably doing one. Let's see. I was probably doing one 10 years ago.
Sean's mustache is good.
It's
got a
good.
good
I'm a little on.
Although you
right
got, I can't call it a mustache. It is a mustache. But when you have anything beyond stubble going,
Is
and
it
you
beyond- is
you've
it
got a
beyond
little
stubble?
chin thing.
I feel like this is stubble.
No, this is stubble. You got,
I guess
chin
it's
thing.
just this is just me being lazy, and I
Your
don't.
mustache is part of something. DJ has a standalone mustache.
Yes.
Well,
right.
I normally have a standalone mustache. I just
Oh, so when you
shave for you guys, basically.
when
And I don't see anybody else.
when you're just letting it grow out, that's how it does come in. It just comes in here
Yeah,
first.
I can't grow a full beard.
Oh.
So like I don't.
Well, Dev Patel.
This is all nothing. So I don't ever grow anything out other than this. Sometimes I'll do the
That's all I
chin,
can do.
But I
Oh.
don't. I don't
Mustache,
do
little
it.
chin. That's all,
All
I
right,
can do.
I need a
Not
little
as well as you.
timeout emergency update from the chat. What are you talking about?
The
You
rollerblading
keep
guy
saying
now?
DJ Boston rollerblading coffee guy. What is that? It's possible
It's got to be a Discord thing. Like
if it's a Discord thing, then I'm
Discord
going to
thing
officially
cannot keep
say-
derailing the chat.
Yes, if
Or
it's a Discord
derailing the
thing, then I'm going to
episode.
be like, okay, I'm out on the Discord. I check in from time to time, say hi to you guys. I have a Zach Hyman profile picture, but if this is a Discord thing, I'm out on Discord.
Discord cannot keep derailing episodes. I do want to say, I would love it if the Columbus Blue Jackets just like became America's team next season. I think there's a good chance.
Famously, they have America's colors.
They do.
Famously,
And
they have a line full
they're-
of Americans.
They're
with-
named after like the
greatest
an important
Americans.
part of the foundation of America, the Blue Coats, the Blue Jackets.
I
Agreed.
just Googled Boston
Oh,
rollerblading.
I didn't know that happened in Boston. I saw this video.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy, tell me.
What happened?
Is this guy rollerblading around, and he just with like a thing of coffee, like with the cardboard holders, and just absolutely fucking ate it.
no.
Someone was like filming him just like vibing out or whatever, and then he just ate it.
What kind of coffee was he doing?
He had a tray of them, and so he was just like,
Like
I
the
don't know, I
cardboard
don't remember if
tray?
he was holding it or just had like one hand, but he was skating around, flying, and then he ate it and just coffee everywhere, and he just like sat there on the ground for a little bit, like face down for a second.
Oh no,
That is the last
sad.
thing.
And then
no,
gathered.
so that was obviously not me. Clearly, we don't know each other here because
he doesn't fall.
I don't fall. B, I hate carrying coffee.
You do
in
drop coffee
trays
a lot.
because depending on like where do you put it in your car? I don't want. This is such
Yes.
a lame topic.
Oh my god! Yes.
Oh, I hate. No, I
Where
hate.
do you
You gotta
put
put
your
it on your
car?
seat,
It's the
and then the
fucking
seat
worst.
moves
We gotta
back,
talk
and
about
then
it.
It's not a
Getting it
good
out of the
angle.
car in our I dropped it one time or it spilled
Yeah,
in my
in
hand
your
or
car.
something. Because our garage is small, it's the space to open the door and everything, and trying to get that just fucking sucks. But I think we all agree there's not going to be an argument to the contrary there. So no, I wouldn't do that. I fucking hate carrying coffee more than anything.
We as a society need a better way to carry multiple
Agreed.
coffees than
Agreed.
those
I already know.
cardboard trays.
I already know how to do it.
It's the little hand, like the little, you know the things that they give out at
Chick-fil-A.
Huh?
They do it at Chick-fil-A.
Oh,
like
it's
with
like
the
a sporting
cardboard
event?
a
holder.
drink
Yeah.
caddy.
Yeah.
Those things that you get in whenever you get like Uber Eats.
Yes,
They
yes, yes, yes.
have like those things. Those things are way better.
Close.
Agreed.
I'll do you one better. Build a wall. It's those, but
I was
there's
Politics
what
chat.
gonna
but
say. I thought we were. I
you
was waiting
open
for
the
politics
top. It does have that handle on top. You open the top, and there are 4 walls, and there are slots for each cup. So when you put the cup in its place, it is being held up, but also if it's to move around much, instead of a top-heavy thing going, ugh, which who the fuck thought that would happen? Of course that was going to happen. It's just hitting a little corner. Have walls, like a Happy Meal box.
Whenever
Yeah, that's
dividers
more or less
inside.
what the caddy thing is.
Yeah.
It's got,
But
like,
no,
walls.
but this is better because there's walls.
But I mean,
it doesn't
caddy
spill.
has walls.
caddy has walls.
That's the whole
No,
point of the
caddy has walls that go up like this.
No,
I've
no.
seen some pretty high walls.
Not the caddies I'm thinking of. They go
I got some
up.
strong walls in my
They
caddies.
don't go up to the top.
They go pretty close.
They're pretty close. They're at least halfway up.
Okay, I was gonna say I need like 55%.
Yeah,
so
they I think would cover like the tip point. They go up to the tip point.
Just to the tip.
Just to the tip.
There is I've never revealed this, but every time I get coffee down the street and I get the little holders, I take them out and I put 2 in the cup holders and I hold the third one. And then when I get to the office, I have to like re-put them in the caddy because I don't fucking trust those. I don't trust like that. The cardboard holders.
It's the worst. They're the worst.
You guys buy the coffee more often, but on the handful of occasions that I buy coffee, I will put it like on my seat, and it usually goes fine.
I'm not taking that chance.
I don't like the fact that I have to think about it.
Yeah,
I don't want to be worried about it.
Yeah. I don't want to be worried about the sun. When I'm rollerblading, you can catch me wearing Shady Rays because those are my kind of shades. They are perfect for the season in which we find ourselves. I call it summer, and they're quality shades built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered with premium polarized shades that will not break the bank. I'm talking about an independent sunglasses company offering a world-class product rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Their shades have durable frames and crystal clear optics, making them the perfect choice for all your outdoor adventures, such as rollerblading. That's what I do. And they come in a variety of colors, so you want to accessorize, maybe even get your team colors. Shady Rays got you. I went to Shady Rays, man. I don't even know the first time I did Shady Rays. We're talking years. And when they joined the What Chaos fam, we were so excited. So exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Head to shadyrays.com and use code AC35 for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people.
And today's episode also brought to you by one of our favorite sponsors, Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 fantasy sports app with more than 5 million members. It is the most fun and exciting way to get in on the action while you watch your favorite sports and players. You just pick more or pick less on 2 or more player stats for a shot to win up to 100x your cash. With Prize Picks, you can turn $10 into $1,000 in a single game watching your favorite sports this summer. Baseball? No thanks, but there's many things going on. Sean, how's baseball going? You like baseball still?
The Sox are hot.
Red Sox heating up.
Sox are hot.
Duran
Duran is a dog.
Duran.
Yankees suck. Life is
I
good.
do like that. I like that the Red Sox are getting
relevant.
okay.
I can't
and
wait
the
for John
Yankees
Henry
are
to
falling
fuck it
apart.
all up at the trade deadline.
I think I'm going to a Mets game on Friday.
You were like you thinking about Pro Shop Wars at the Mets game?
Did I tell you that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do Pro Shop Wars the Mets game.
That's
I
crazy
like
behavior.
the Mets a lot because they are not the New York Yankees.
Yeah, same. I like any like New York team that's not the most
New York
annoying
team?
one.
Yeah. I like, football, I guess, is the exception there because I hate the Jets.
I don't like the Giants.
I love the Giants because what they did to you motherfuckers.
I respect the Giants. I hate the Jets.
I hate the Jets.
I like the Bills. I shouldn't like the Bills. They're in division, but I like the Bills.
Well, yes, I guess.
I like the Mets.
Jets don't play, and
I like the Islanders. I like the Sabres. I love the Sabres. I'll even say that. I
don't count the Buffalo teams as New York teams because.
But I do because they're New York teams. They're just not the annoying ones.
I agree. I mean, when people say New York, like it's a classic problem. People ask where are you from? I say New York, and they're like, oh, how's Times Square? I'm like, nope, bigger than that, way bigger than that.
Well, if you're looking for promotions, Prize Picks has you covered every week. From lowering select player stat projections on Tuesdays, which increases your chance of winning, of getting a win, to getting your entry fees back if you have a losing lineup on Fridays. A lot of ways that you can 10x, 100x, whatever x that really strikes your fancy.
Hammer Masataka Yoshida more than 1.5 bases against the Rockies.
Big Yoshida guy. Love that guy.
Huge Yoshida guy.
Masa,
not
King.
Yoshi.
Yeah,
no, don't
right.
call him
Masa.
Yoshi.
Yeah. We
everyone
love
loves
Prize
calling him
Picks.
Yoshi,
We've been
though.
using Prize Picks for a long time at this point. Long-time sponsors, long-time fans right here. Download the app today and use code WhatChaos for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code WhatChaos for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
Can somebody fill me in on what's going on with the Mets and Grimace? Because I looked at the Citi Field seating chart, and it was just a big thing of Grimace.
Yeah. He basically, the Mets sucked at the beginning of the season. Like, they were actively very bad, which was kind of expected because last year Cohen spent a bunch of money on him because he didn't know how to build a baseball team, and then basically had to trade everyone away because the team sucked. They weren't supposed to be that good.
Cute.
They sucked at the beginning of the season. And then Grimace threw out the first pitch. and they got real good out of nowhere. Like real good. Like I think like the best team in baseball for a stretch after Grimace threw out the first pitch. And so Grimace became like a fucking super. And you know how New York gets, like they're crazy. And so
Bing
Grimace,
bong.
yeah, Grimace became like a superhero there. And they have been really good at baseball ever since Grimace threw out the first pitch. It's wild.
So
I'll have to find the exact stats.
If there's like a Grimace shirt or like if there's like a Mets Grimace hat,
there's almost guaranteed to be people dressed up as Grimace. That's been like the thing recently.
You should do that.
So I was what I was gonna wear to the Mets game?
What?
Your favorite hat of mine.
The Oilers one?
Yeah, it's like a Mets hat. No one's
That's
gonna
true,
notice.
Yeah. I was gonna say you should dress up as the Hamburglar and then just like be like, hey, I know
that
you.
Would go. That would go.
That
hard.
would be pretty
That would
sick.
probably.
You could take pictures with like 9,000 Grimaces at the Mets game. But I have an ignorant inquiry. What the fuck is Grimace?
Just a purple thing.
I know that he's like the purple thing, but what is he?
Let's see. I feel like this is one of those.
Are you
things,
trying to gender Grimace?
What are the origins of Grimace?
I feel like this is one of those things when you go to the Wikipedia, it's got some crazy. Like I always say, Syracuse, the mascot Otto, is not an orange. It is the embodiment of the color orange. So it really is just an orange orb. It's not like a fruit.
That's a Jersey explanation. It's a fucking orange.
Well, I don't think it is because
it's a fucking orange.
Well,
it's a circle orange.
Yeah, but the history of the name.
It is a circle orange.
I
and
know,
you know what is
but
circle and orange?
Listen,
Oranges.
I agree.
It's an orange.
Well, it's not because you're going to
Yes,
put some
it
fucking
is.
respect on Otto's name. He's the best mascot in college sports.
No, it's
but
not.
Who is? Do not say fucking.
I'm not going to say the Stanford tree.
You know, I was gonna say
Stanford Tree is the worst.
Whenever we would play NCAA mascots, I would always be Stanford just because a bunch of trees running around was the best.
Yes.
Stanford tree sucks.
It's not, like one of the Bulldogs. Bevo.
Oh, not okay. Live mascots aren't
Live mascots count.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
They're different.
No,
No, 'cause most of those
they're
schools-
different in that they hit
Most of
different.
those schools have actual mascots too.
Yeah.
So
Can
that's
I-
a whole different. That's a whole different animal.
Can I ask you boys a question?
What?
Under the characters section of the McDonald Land Wikipedia page, where is Grimace listed? For example, like
The Grimace cinematic or
First-
the McDonald's cinematic universe.
so, like
I used to watch
right-
McDonald's movies as a kid.
what?
That's stupid.
No, like the
Uh,
McDonald Land, they had movies as a young child, like as a little kid.
Where do you think Grimace is listed in the hierarchy?
I mean, the fact that you're asking
Going third.
suggests that he's lower than he deserves to be. I'm going to say he deserves to be third.
We have 2 submissions for third.
Yes.
Let's do a little family feud. Okay.
You got Ronald McDonald.
That's number
You've
one.
got Hamburglar.
You've
and you've got
got
Grimace.
you got
are
a
the
birdie,
top 3
right?
McDonald's characters.
Isn't there like some bird character?
That is exactly how it goes. And what's
Yeah,
great
that's what I
about
would-
it is under characters on Wikipedia, I love me some italicized stuff on Wikipedia. It says Hamburglar redirects here. For the ice hockey player, see Andrew Hammond ice hockey.
Oh, shit.
Amazing.
I was exactly right about.
Birdie the birdie the early bird, it says.
Yeah, well, no, but I was exactly right about what Grimace is.
What?
How Otto is the embodiment of the color orange. He is, and I quote, the embodiment of a milkshake.
What? What are the milkshakes? What milkshakes are purple?
Brother, I don't fucking
The
know.
Grimace shake, but that was invented because of Grimace. Like, how is he the embodiment of
Listen,
a milkshake?
That's just what the Google said.
That is fucking nonsense. Mayor McCheese is a good one. Oh wait, so was it Ronald McDonald, Hamburglar, Grimace?
Correct.
That is the power rankings of McDonald's characters. Is Mayor McCheese in there?
Let's see where Mayor McCheese is.
How many characters are there?
I mean, I'm not seeing Mayor McCheese. Oh, this is under former characters. Mayor McCheese is first under former characters, so maybe Mayor was impeached. Maybe there was a scandal. Let's see. Why did this happen?
He signed off on Icetown.
Whoa. So check this out. An enormous
Good
cheeseburger-headed character who first appeared in 1971 and was removed in 1985. He sported a top hat, a diplomat sash, and a pair of pince-nez spectacles and was portrayed as McDonaldland's bumbling and incompetent mayor. He was the subject of a lawsuit filed by Sid and Marty Croft for similarities to H.R. Puffenstuff. Specifically, both were characters with enormous heads who served as the elected leader of a fantastical setting. That is fucking ridiculous.
No politics chat. No politics chat. Mayor McCheese fucking out.
The Wacky Adventures of Ronald McDonald. It was a direct-to-video animated series that I used to watch as a little kid from 98 to 2003, right in my wheelhouse.
Now, there was also a former, there was Captain Crook.
Yes. Yep.
A pirate captain who was introduced in 1971. They were busy in 1971, but then also dropped in 1985. I'm wondering if Jesse Pinkman was inspired by Captain Crook, because famously his nickname was Captain Cook.
Johnny Laz in the chat says, tell Pete to check his text. I checked my text, and Johnny says, I haven't gotten laid since the Rangers got eliminated.
Why did you read that?
Johnny. Yeah, because he texted me. He said, check your texts.
I think he could have, if he won that on the show, I think he would have dropped that in the chat.
Make Laz fuck again. That's the message of this episode. So
you play your cards right, Johnny. We love you. Everybody loves Johnny Laz.
Love you, Johnny. You can do it, pal. We believe in you.
That's not a Pete's doing a different thing than me. I love you, buddy. Okay, so I'm going to just embrace Grimace stuff when I'm at the Mets game.
Yes, it will get you.
I think you should dress
He will get me
up as Hamburg.
Like it'll get you like cred. Like there'll be people that'll be like, fuck yeah. Like
Not-
there's a lot of videos of like people dressed up as Grimace just like slamming beers and celebrating and stuff. Like it is very much a thing.
If the Mets win, they're playing the Braves. If the Mets win, I'm getting a Grimace tattoo.
Johnny says I'm cackling. So he received it well. It's not leaking DMs if somebody says check your texts and the text reads what I read.
I wouldn't have read it, but I think doing what he did, that's a risky run.
Exactly.
So I
agree with all that.
And knowing Johnny, I wouldn't have done it if I didn't know Johnny.
Also, Johnny has been on the show talking about his love life before. So
we do have to talk about Matvei Michkov arriving in the NHL.
Yes, big news. Matvei Michkov. What's that?
Johnny, I got neutered in the doghouse.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
2023 7th overall pick Matvei Michkov has arrived in the United States, came over from Russia, will join the Philadelphia Flyers, signs his entry-level contract, all that. Everybody very excited about it. This is a player who was drafted with a lot of mystery around him. No one knew, hey, we haven't seen the guy play. We don't know what he is. Is he coming? Who knows? He fell in the draft because nobody knew what he was going to be, and he is just this enigma.
Yeah, because he didn't want to meet with a lot of teams in the pre-draft interviews.
People couldn't see him because of...
he actively said that he was not going to go to the Coyotes and another team. I don't remember who it is, which is something I think about now all the time, is how different things would be if the Coyotes had moved a year earlier.
Well,
and he had potentially wanted to go to
What did Matvei know? He says,
true.
I'm not going to go to the Coyotes.
Nobody's going to the Coyotes.
He could have drafted. They could have drafted him. He would have been like, "Sweet, I'll sign that entry level contract. I'm not going to the Coyotes." They're
That's
like, "What's this guy up to?"
He was just ahead of his time.
The reason I want, what are you doing?
I was just gonna say that you were gonna allude to this. They couldn't get scouted because of the pandemic, or not because of the pandemic, because of the geopolitical things going on with Russia and Ukraine. It was tough to scout him. It was tough to get a read on him because he refused to meet with a lot of teams. Like people didn't know whether he was going to be able to be released from his KHL contract. There was just a lot of mystery and uncertainty around Matvei Michkov. The Flyers said, fuck all that. We're going to take a chance. He has a really, really high upside as an offensive winger. And what do you know? Here he is, a year after he's drafted.
The most important part of this is that the Flyers noted his arrival with a tweet that said, "Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Hashtag Let's Go Flyers." And that is just about the most insane reference I have ever seen a team make about a good thing that they are adding to what they are doing. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him is from 2003 when a person said that sentence and him was Saddam Hussein, a person the United States
A literal
intended
terrorist.
to kill. Doing, ladies and gentlemen, we got him for like having a kid and being like, ladies and gentlemen, we got him. It's a boy. Crazy thing to do.
Yeah, like
Sean, do you have the audio?
Yeah.
Hit it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Yeah, that was him is a person they were trying to kill.
Yes.
I will say,
Which they eventually did.
They got him and then they killed him.
no, there's no shot. This is the first. This is like the first team to do this. Like plenty of teams have done this on social media to reference getting a player, like signing a player or something like that.
Maybe so. Doesn't make it less insane.
That's fair. Yeah.
I've seen, ladies and gentlemen, we got him used for kind of like the got his ass.
Yeah,
kind of
like
thing.
like cotton 4K kind of shit.
Busted.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never for like we've acquired him.
I've definitely seen that before.
Really?
Yeah, like I feel like, well, because like we were talking about this off the show. Most people do not even know what that is a reference. They don't even realize that it's like governmental at all. It's just like a meme at this point.
The clip is C-SPAN, and it's clearly
Well,
like
yeah,
the
but-
military.
But
Yeah.
people don't use that phrase in with the clip. Like people say that all the time, and I think there's a lot of people who use it that have no idea where it originated.
but
They
I-
use
but
the
I think
GIF
the
a lot
DJ
because
That's
there's
true. The
visual
GIF
on that
4K.
because the GIF is misspelled and it drives me crazy. It says, "Ladies and gentlemen, we got him."
Yeah, I think it's more like we caught him kind of deal.
People
like
definitely
the Dr. Disrespect thing, ladies and gentlemen, we got him. That kind of deal. But I feel like the more appropriate application would be like the Kim K thing. He's here and he's perfect.
Yeah, there are a lot of things you can use there. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Like,
I do love the
I'm keeping an eye on
insanity
Matvei
of it, though.
Michkov now.
I do love the insanity of it. I'm very excited about Matvei Michkov. He's
Yeah.
wearing number 39,
Yep.
by the way. Weird number.
I like it. It's a Wings number.
It's a weird number. Was Cam Atkinson 39?
I don't know. I don't like it.
I
Matt
do like
Bolesky
it.
was 39.
It's a goalie number.
It's a wing number.
It's a
Do you-
wing number.
It's a goalie number.
It's a-
if
it's
it's in the
for-
30s, it's going to be a goalie number.
It's a great goalie number. It's a weird wing number.
Couldn't wear it if he was a Buffalo Sabre. Just saying. Retired.
Cam Atkinson wore 89.
How important is the ladies and gentlemen? Because
Oh, that makes the whole thing. Like,
okay,
you have
because
to
the
have
Penguins
the whole part of it.
Penguins tweeted out when they got Dubas, and someone pointed out in the chat, they just said we got him.
No, that's a normal
No,
thing.
we got because at that point you might as well be using Drewski.
Yeah, we got him.
Mm.
Got him. Which, by the way, is used for mostly the same application. But
Which is like busted.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
But no, I think ladies and gentlemen, we got him is very much associated with that clip and that moment, which in fairness, I didn't know was attached to Saddam Hussein. I thought that thing was from like the 80s or 70s. It looks like a really old clip, but yeah, knowing that it's attached to Saddam Hussein makes it insane to use it in this application.
Weird move by the Flyers, but you know what? I like weird moves out of my Flyers. I like it for my guys. It's insane, but I like it for my guys. Morgan Geekie, a 39.
Not just a winger though. Play center.
Anthony Mantha, a 39, or I'm sorry, as the chatter says, Anthony Manthony wears 39. Yeah, hammer us with some 39s. Give us some. Queen has a song called 39.
But
off
like
of,
the
Night
players
at the
that you're
Opera.
naming are not like famous players.
That's good. Make it your own.
Exactly.
Make it your own.
Matvei Michkov could be the 39. I love that for him.
What you got, Sean?
The Colorado Avalanche tweeted at the Buffalo Sabres this morning. They just
No,
said,
they've been doing that.
oh, it's just a thing they've been doing.
Every day,
Yeah.
every day they're waking up and they're tweeting some weird shit at a different team in the NHL.
They misspelled blue cheese.
It's BEEU, right?
Yeah, and they spelled it just like the color.
Fucking bad behavior.
Agreed.
Social
also-
media managers
Go fuck yourself, Colorado.
stunks down.
Don't ask questions you know the answer to.
Colorado, one of my favorite offseason Colorado activities was when that's the year after they were fucking horrible, like the Calvin Pickard year. They were like tweeting offseason stats, and like every day it was so depressing. They were tweeting like so-and-so had 16 points in 82 games this year. And it's like, we're all trying to forget it. Don't remind us. You just had one of the worst seasons of all time, and they spent the entire summer just tweeting terrible stats.
Sponsored posts,
fucking
man.
funny.
Sponsored posts are the scourge of the hockey internet, but also very funny.
It's funny because like if I was a brand, I would be like, we'll pay you the same amount. Just don't post us when you lose 17-0. Like we don't need to be on that.
Yeah, like I don't want to be associated with
exactly.
that. It's the LeBron thing. Don't put me on the Lakers lose graphic.
Somebody was for a really bad team recently. They were noticing that the sponsored logo kept getting smaller and smaller, like the more that the team lost games, which is fucking hilarious. I love that shit. So
that's amazing. How do we miss Logan Couture?
Sabres fan.
Yeah.
Or Bills fan.
That's is he?
Yeah, huge Bills fan.
All right, I'll take that.
He once got punched in the face for being a Trump guy, allegedly. Remember that?
I don't remember
He
that.
came out like one summer and was like, I got punched in the face at the bar last night because somebody didn't like that I was a Trump guy.
In California, I assume.
I think so. And everybody was like, that didn't happen, liar. And then he deleted the tweet. Logan Couture has
Did he?
I might be out on Logan Couture now.
Did he juicy smouye himself?
Yeah, it kind of
so.
sounds like it. And also outed himself as a Trump guy, which you didn't need to do. Like,
I think that was a poorly kept secret, if a secret at all.
Fair enough. I mean,
and he's
not to say that you gotta hide that you're a Trump supporter. I'm just saying, I feel like a lot of athletes tend to stay away from that stuff.
One of my favorite ones of those. This was back when Pete and I were doing the show, the popular show Brunch. Shania Twain, the great Shania Twain, was like, "Boy, this Trump's off to a bad start." And if I had a vote,
I remember that.
I would have voted for him, and I'd be regretting it right now. Man, this guy's not so good at it.
Throwing yourself under the bus.
You're fucking
no
Canadian.
Reason.
You did not have to. Why would you offer that up? Especially when you now recognize that it would have been a bad vote.
I will say, like that's the. She's showing people,
That's an insane tweet.
But she's showing people, hey, you know what? It's okay to admit you were wrong.
Yes, but like
it's one thing to be like, if I could have voted, I would have voted for Donald Trump. End sentence.
I respect the honesty, but nobody asked for it.
I agree with it.
Yeah,
It's
so that's the
crazy
thing. Like,
unnecessary
I believe
move.
it was in an interview, and she was not asked like, "So who would you have voted for?" I think it was like, "So you live in America or something," and she was like,
"This Trump guy is pretty interesting."
Yeah. Speaking of. This Trump guy is pretty interesting.
He is pretty interesting.
Just kidding. I don't want to do politics talk. We've had a lovely conversation here. Thank you to everybody who has hung out with us. We'll be back next week. Love doing a live show. Love having the chat back. Everybody, hope you had an absolute blast with this. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube and to every place you can get this lovely show.
Next week we can talk about trap.
We can talk about what?
Trap.
Like music?
Yes. No, the M.
movie.
Night Shyamalan vehicle, Trap.
Is it out?
It comes out next week.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very excited for this.
I believe.
This is the, what's my guy's, Josh Hartnett?
Josh Hartnett, yeah. It comes out August 2nd, and next, is July of 31 days?
Yes.
All right, I lied then. So it's out next week, but not by the time we have this episode.
I'm gonna peek through my screeners, see if we can get the three of us into a Trapped screening.
Wouldn't hate it.
I don't think it's just Sean's like, I don't want to go.
It's not
No,
Trapped.
I do want to go. If I don't have to pay for it, absolutely.
Sean, speaking of, I'm working on some Connecticut Sun tickets. You think I'm lying?
Hell yeah.
Derek's, dude, they
When is that again?
August 20th.
Okay, yeah.
Get ready to speak. Or get ready to learn. Yeah.
Just there's usually something after that.
No, I'm just using it for like, hey, like this is happening.
Before we get out of here, it's time for a like spike. So thanks for hanging out, everybody. Hit that thumbs up button right below the video player, and we would very much appreciate it if you get those like numbers real high. Also would appreciate it if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do it. We are 250 away from 8,000 subscribers, which we love round numbers. Round numbers rock. And
8,000 is famously the second most for
A hockey podcast.
digit number? Is this true, Sean?
No. The second biggest 4-digit number?
No, the second roundest.
Second roundest.
No, it's got to be tied for the roundest.
Well,
No,
I would say that
the roundest is 0.
That's what I'm saying. But
Right.
0 isn't a number. It's just 0.
well,
Well, but you can have 0 followers.
roundness isn't a
Oh,
spectrum.
but 4 digits. Yeah.
1 million
Yeah.
is just as round as 8 million.
1 million?
Or like
No.
Wait, no,
We're
I'm saying
talking about like
physical
straight
roundness?
lines.
Yes,
oh, well
roundness.
then it's
It's the
800. Then it's 8,888.
So it'd
No.
be tied.
I think that 8 is less round than 0. I could be wrong on this.
No,
My gut feeling
that's
is
the point
it's
that I
less
was
round.
trying to make.
Yeah.
But you said 4 digits, which makes 8,000 the roundest 4-digit number.
That's what I think. I think it's tied with. No, yeah, it's got to be because
the
again,
roundest.
even if,
I mean,
if it
that-
starts with a 0, then it's just 800.
Yes, I guess.
think
Well,
DJ and Pete thought of something that Sean didn't think of.
No,
and
well,
for
I
once
mean, it
in
depends
his
on
life,
how you-
Sean wasn't the smartest
depends
person.
on how you write your 8s. Because if you do like the snowman technique, then you've got 8 zeros in it.
That's really round.
So then it's more round.
Yeah,
I think
but
if you do the
still think
snowman
that
technique, you're a
round-
child. But
I think round.
but it's if you do the snowman technique, it's just little or zeros.
yeah, but like it's
small
the
zeros.
purest
But it's less.
round
That's
number.
still less round.
But
Yeah, that's fair.
here's the thing.
That's
Here's the like if we're being real specific or getting real in the weeds here, if you have an odometer and it's 4 digits, you have 4 zeros. When you have 0 subscribers to your YouTube channel, you have 4. If you're treating the subscriber thing like an odometer, you've got 4 zeros. That is the roundest number.
But an odometer puts a line through.
No, they don't.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
I would argue that just depends on what car you drive.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe.
I don't think mine does.
I don't think mine does.
you have to allow for the possibility of an odometer striking. Let's not come from
well,
places of
but- okay,
privilege.
if
we
we're
all have
talking about an
relative
odometer,
powers.
if we're talking about an odometer.
But in that case, 8,888 would be the roundest number.
Would be more
Well,
round than
would be
that. So
more
that's why I'm saying we got to throw the odometer thing out.
If we're talking about an odometer, none of them are round. It's a digital analog thing. Like it's all going to be. Oh well, I guess.
Have
sorry.
you never seen an analog
I'm not rich.
odometer?
I have an old car.
Fucking young guy over here thinks he
No,
knows
so
everything.
I respect where you're coming from, Pete, but I think that we have to be careful to consider all cars. We have newer
Be inclusive
cars
here.
Yeah, so you guys have newer
I don't
cars.
think either of our. My guess is both of ours are like some cool, fancy, like gentrified font going on. I think that.
Do you have digital
Papyrus.
dashboards?
No. What's the? You guys know about the gentrification font, right?
I did see that like somebody tweeted the other day like America's the best country because we have all these cool typography things available in supermarkets, and it's like, brother, that's all like the worst fucking design thing I've ever seen in my life.
It's like fucking
if you
papyrus.
Google gentrification font, and once you see the font, you'll be like, oh, I know what.
I bet I know. It's
It's used on like
Shake Shack, the Shake Shack font, basically,
Yes,
is what's coming
yes.
up. That's not the one that I was thinking of.
Love.
But yes.
typefaces and fonts. Like it's my
Nice.
favorite. It's,
Make us one.
Love that about you.
I don't know how to make them. I'm just very interested with them. You know, typeface and font are not synonyms. One is the actual thing, and one of them is the file. I believe a font, I want to say, is like the file of it, and a typeface. I might be flipping around, but they are not technically the same thing.
That's the greatest goodbye we've ever given you. So make sure you're subscribed everywhere. Get us to that questionably round number. I think we all think that's a really round number.
8,000 super
8,000 is crazy round. Talk to you next week. Bye. Love ya.
We all silly like the mayor.